What up? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And look at you. You done stumbled upon little OTB Saints, where we bring you all the latest black and gold coverage.
Who are the Saints going to draft? Who's going to be their quarterback? What does the salary cap look like? All that information and more.
Hope you enjoy it. Like, subscribe. Time to talk a little New Orleans Saints. So, full disclosure, yesterday was the final game for the Pink Pandas. And although I was very proud of my daughter, put on a bit of an offensive showcase. Your boy is now 0 for 3 seasons when it comes to sports. Still looking for that first win. Eventually, we're going to get there.
Wait, I thought I saw Alice basically was Tim Howard back there.
Yeah. But there were a lot of shots, I mean, and that, no, Jake, what's
she
crazy.
She was Tim Howard versus Belgium, where she stopped everything except like 2 goals, but nobody scored a goal.
Let's put it this way. Yes, also that. But that was all highlights from one shift, and they did 4 shifts. So it was, She had a lot of opportunity, I would say. Pandas lose 0-3, but the point is, it was very fun. Very fun year. We went to a trophy celebration. I missed the first half of the game. How in the world, and I've read all about it, but I want you guys who watch it, how in the world did Josh Dobbs and the Minnesota Vikings against that defense, which is very good, come out and put up a 27-3 lead? How is that possible?
The quarterback scrambling in the first half killed them. That's been the case the last few games. Bagent ran all over the place. Not necessarily rushing yards, which that was there. Dobbs had 44 rushing yards and a touchdown, but the Saints are really having trouble either keeping contained or just keeping QBs from scrambling, and that's killing them in the first half. Make adjustments in the second half, only give up 6 points, whatever it was.
Yeah,
but
3. I think it was 24-3 at half.
Yeah, and so much opportunity, even with Jameis Winston being in the game, which 2 horrible, nonsensical interceptions, which I'm sure you guys will get into. But the offense, there's plenty to critique. You had the ball down 3 different times with the chance to tie the game. But you can't give up that many yards to Josh Dobbs and Tyson Bagent. And this has been happening all season, really going back to the Jacksonville game when Lawrence ran all over them. That's killing the defense right now.
And it's weird because it's this defense. I don't know what's happened. It's been worse as of late. They just can't get it together in the first half. And you're right. Like, the rushing quarterback is a kind of core, like, this is the reason element. But it does get a bit odd when you have quotes like you see from after the game. Like, okay, so here's what Tyrann Mathieu had to say. He was kind of asked about, did you not know what to expect? Like, what was going on? And he said, quote, "We got it. First play of the game. We got a bootleg," which is what they were expecting. We did a poor job of executing the first half. It's hard to pinpoint. I feel like we had a good week of practice. We just couldn't start the way that we wanted to. And then, so that was a theme that was continued. Eric McCoy, quote, "I don't know. I really don't. Nobody likes playing from behind. When you have to go back from that many points, damn near impossible. I don't know if it works whenever we get into desperation mode, but I don't want to be in it. That ish sucks." And then and by the way, New Orleans on football, great breakdowns of everything. And here's the coup de grace answer. Dennis Allen was asked about the inexplicable slow starts. Quote, "I don't really know what the answer is. I'm being honest with you. I'd like to think we could start a little faster, get the momentum going a little bit quicker. I do know our guys never feel like they're out of it. I do know they're going to continue to fight in battle, but we can't keep digging ourselves into these holes, especially against a good football team." And here's where it becomes a bit weird is, like, I want my coaches to be honest with what's going on in the press conferences. But, man, it makes you feel some type of way when a coach who is already heavily critiqued and that a lot of people do not believe in, when asked about why his side of the ball just can't figure it out in the first half, even though they're really good, to start with, "I don't really know what the answer is. I'm being honest with you." That doesn't feel great. Appreciate the honesty, but that does not feel great.
Didn't feel like they had a plan either for some of Minnesota's best players. Hockenson, feasted on this Saints defense. He had 11 for 134, and he had to be the matchup. As well as Jordan Addison has played, as good as he has been, like, you had to say, okay, TJ Hockenson is the guy that we're probably going to focus on the most, because I think Paulson Adebo, I think Lattimore, they still actually played pretty well, but you had no answer for Hockenson. And when you look at the Saints team, they've got candidates that I feel like would match up well with
Yeah.
him. Not stop him fully because I think he's that good of a player, but certainly not to go off for 11 catches and 134 yards from the tight end position. And it felt like they never adjusted to that either. And that, again, going into the week on Monday, hey, right here, that's not who's going to beat us.
Yeah, like that's you can't.
Certainly when you have a quarterback like Dobbs, they're going to look for the safe play, the safety blanket. When Brock Purdy came in last year for San Francisco, whose numbers went up?
Yeah, Kittle's went up.
Kittle's numbers went way up because you're like, all right, look, I just got here. I know that I've got maybe the best receiver in the NFL not with me. Well, who's my best player? Well, it's Hockenson, right? That's who I'm going to lean on. Those throws are easier for a quarterback than some of the routes, obviously, on the outside. And so, like, I was shocked when he was the player that went off.
Yeah, and then the Jameis element here. God, when I tell you it hurt my heart, it hurt my heart. Yeah, our guy had it, dude. Our guy had it. The unbelievable Chris Olave catch, A.T. Perry. Now, this is part of the game we were drinking margs and Superior, giving out kids trophies, loving it. And I'm thinking, like, I could feel it in my gut. I'm like, oh, my God, Jameis is going to do it. And I'm going to crap all over Jake on Monday. And it's going to be awesome. And we're going to celebrate Jameis. And it's going to be like, finally, redemption. We're going to be so happy. And then you got the full Jameis experience.
T-Bob, I was watching the game.
You got the full thing.
Hey,
I was doing the women's game yesterday, and I thought about you because, like, Jameis goes in there 3 for 3 and a touchdown. I'm like, oh, T-Bob's excited. I look up, not 5 minutes later, he's 3 for 7 with an interception, and I was like, oh, my gosh. I was like, T-Bob's going through it.
How about you keep running? Okay, who was it he was throwing to on the deep ball? They obviously had a miscommunication.
Olave.
Jameis thought Olave was just going to try to burn it, whereas Olave looked like he was throttling down on like a hitch or something.
Derek Carr thought that too a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, at least
exactly.
Carr throws it out of bounds.
Just
terrible recognition by Jameis. Like, I can't defend it. It looked good in the beginning. I too was getting pumped up, but both the interceptions were just awful.
Yeah,
just
the second
terrible.
one was awful. The first one though, again, what if Olave is supposed to be just going balls to the wall there? The throw would have been on time.
Yeah,
and it just would have been trust your receiver to go up and make a play.
He was getting drilled as he threw the ball. It just seemed like a hapless kind of decision. I just feel like knowing the situation, down 8, you should throw it out of bounds. But hey, it's hindsight.
But again, no, I know, but I feel you. But again, that same gunslinger mentality is how you got to the Olave touchdown and the A.T. Perry touchdown. So, but that is the full. I mean, that's the Jameis experience.
So we had like sporting events literally all day yesterday. So I had to go back and watch a couple of games. So before I went back and rewatched the game, had an Alabama friend group, and they're Saints fans as well. A lot of people in Alabama are. They're like, Jameis is cooking right now. And I'm like, wait, hold up, what? And I'm like, oh, Mario and T-Bob are going to love this.
Yes,
and literally, so like I'm at a soccer game. I go to my YouTube TV, on my phone. I'm like, I got to watch this. Yeah. Literally, as soon as I pull it up, first interception. I close it because we're playing. I pull it back up. I swear to God, second interception.
Well, now it makes sense, doesn't it, boys? Yeah. Now it makes sense. Whose fault is it?
It's mine. I'll take it.
Whose fault is it? You literally poisoned him from the traction. Wherever you were, you poisoned him from the Breck Fields. Yeah. What is wrong with you?
They said he was
cooking.
Watch the
game.
I wanted to open it up and see it.
Can't you just be satisfied to watch the Chargers barely lose every Sunday? Like, can't you just be content?
Every loss by 3 or less.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Just be content.
Every one of them.
It happened again. You didn't have to do that to Jameis.
I'm not blaming you.
Thank you.
I'm not. That's like clockwork right now. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
So speaking of sports superstitions, I was at a birthday party on Friday, which, side note, I probably spent like 2 hours grinding Friday. It was awesome. Like old school grinding with my wife. Like back when we first started dating. It was sick.
Did anybody like ask her if she needed help this time?
No. That was more of like, it was a step beyond grinding. That was whatever.
Hey, Mardi Gras is a hell of a thing.
Anyway, I talked to guys. This is probably the craziest sports superstition I've ever heard in my entire life. My guy Drew, during the college, and he's a massive LSU fan, massive LSU baseball fan.
Yeah.
During the College World Series, he was having to work during the first game.
Right.
And so he had to listen to the game on his headphones while he was working. He couldn't watch it. LSU wins. And so he convinced himself, even though he's in love with LSU baseball, like to its core, he convinced himself he could not watch the games live for the rest of Omaha. So he would listen to every game and then immediately go watch it when it was done. And the one time he broke down and was like, I'm going to watch it live, was game 2 against Florida, which they get smacked in. So it was just complete negative reinforcement of every irrational, superstitious fear that he had. And so he didn't even get to see them win the Natty live. He had to listen to it and then immediately go back and watch it.
Wow.
After the game. I know. I found that to be deeply, deeply funny. But in the same way, I do blame you. Because he obviously helped us win a championship by listening, and you obviously helped spike Jameis into the ground by turning on your YouTube TV at Breck.
Also against the Vikings, who anytime we talk Jameis on this show, he gets compared to Kirk Cousins. Even though he's out, it's still against the Vikings. So maybe you're right. Maybe it's like a full circle deal. Look, I wanted to see him cook as well.
And Josh
I'd love
Dobbs
Jameis to be successful and be the quarterback. I'd love it.
Josh Dobbs remains super likable, and this is his year. He's now stacked 3 wins.
I've seen Jameis cook plenty of times. Now, most of the time he's making burnt toast, but he's cooking nonetheless.
Yeah, because he's burning DBs. I agree, dude.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, dude.
Still one less playoff win than Cousins. Just saying.
But he has one less.
He does. That would be less.
Yeah. It's here. It's here.
I've never seen Kirk Cousins
just
over
like
5,000 yards.
Just like with Taysom
Hey,
Hill's
it would have been about
carries.
15,000 if you'd have counted the other teams.
Taysom didn't get his 7 carries.
Yeah.
He did it?
Nope.
Wait, what?
He had one.
He had 1 carry for 6 yards. So my guy averaged 6 yards a
And
carry.
you definitely got in the 25 at least once with Jameis.
And look, I know that you were losing, so you're like, we got to throw, but that's pathetic. Like you still, your best path to success offensively is still with Taysom playing a big role.
He played 20 plays total in the game.
Yeah, he had 1 carry, and then he had 2 catches.
So Taysom, hey, how about tendencies? We always talk about tendencies on this show, right? So Taysom played 20 plays, and I would assume some of these are probably special teams because I've got 18 charted as far as run and pass. He was in on 1 run, which went to him. The other plays he was in, all passes. So of 18 offensive plays, 1 run, 17 passes. And some of that's because they were playing from behind. I do understand that. But also, you got a weapon. He's rare. He's unique. There's no comp. All those things. And you just, continue to not use it.
We need to just get Nick Underhill to write an article about it.
Like, you were down 8
Yeah.
for 3 series. Great point by you, Mario. Like, when you're down 1 possession, everything in your playbook's available.
Yeah, true.
You don't have to go 2-minute at that point because you score 2-point conversion, the game's tied. You don't have to go 2-minute offense.
And you take a little pressure off of Jameis.
Right, but they didn't do that.
Yeah.
I will say that's very difficult for Jameis to come into, the situation he did, and he was playing well. And those interceptions, when you're trying to come back like that, now, they were egregious. I understand that, but that situation is still very, very tough for Jameis to come into.
This is pretty crazy. According to this comes from Gulf South in chat. According to ESPN, if Saints won yesterday, their playoff chances would have gone up to 91% since they lost 65. So, look, you're still, as we know, you're still in the NFC South, okay? So you're still in a fine spot. But damn if that wasn't a missed opportunity against that team. And it's not to say the Vikings are bad, because the Vikings are obviously actually a really good team as a whole. But I still can't excuse a defense in the Saints that is top 10 having the lack of success in the first half that they had against Minnesota.
Yes, I agree with you with what Minnesota has available. It's shocking because we think so much of the Saints defense. This was really the first bad game from Carl Granderson, right, where he didn't really flash. There was a couple of bad fits from him. Paulson Debo still played well, but again, like the receivers for Minnesota, like you felt like he was going to have a good matchup. The safety struggled in this game. Marcus May struggled certainly in this game, and it looked like he was going in the other direction, right? I've been critical of him, but then he started to really turn it around, and now kind of backward on that downward slide a little bit. So it's just one of those performances where nobody, really the defensive line for the first time as a whole, didn't have the juice that they've had all season long, and that was surprising. Only 1 sack, I believe, in this game. Against a quarterback that you felt like they could have an advantage against, try to confuse, maybe some stunts, some games, just didn't see any of it.
Yeah, so Minnesota 1-4 with Jets. Jets goes down. Yeah. They've now won 5 games in a row, even with Kirk Cousins going down for 2 of those. The NFL's weird, man.
It is.
Wow, just amazing black and gold takes right there, Jake.
I don't think I've ever heard any takes that are better than the 2 guys that just gave you that take.
And you can keep getting them by going ahead and liking, subscribing, ringing the bell to get notifications when we post. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next OTB Saints.